Hello, my name is Tim Hofflander, and today we're going to talk about how using discipline to help you find your purpose can help with overcoming addictions. Discipline can be a very effective tool to assist with overcoming addictions. As with all other programs, your first step to success is to clean out everything in your house or in your computer or anywhere else that triggers your addiction. Now, regarding discipline. When we talk about discipline, we are really trying to set up a system to renew our way of thinking and acting. There's a lot of consistent work needed if we are going to change our behavior on a long-term basis. But when you become a lover of discipline instead of a lover of pleasure, you will have discovered one of the keys to real long-term joy instead of fake short-term pleasure. What do we mean by fake short-term pleasure? Here's an example. It is fun to bet $5 on the Chicago Bears football team, but addicted gamblers want to bet $10,000 that they can't afford to lose. And I'd love to win a $10,000 bet on the Bears. I need the money. But if the short-term pleasure of the betting is going to cost me my house, then it is fake short-term pleasure because the end is disaster. So we need to practice activities that will give us long-term joy, not short-term joy, which leads to disaster. The first key to discipline is to, number one, always set goals. And number two, always be a fanatic about repeating your goals consistently. For some people, you may need to repeat your goal 4 times a day. For many, an hourly reminder of the goal is needed if an addiction is severe. Here's an example. You wake up, and the first thing you think about is, my goal for today is to stay clean. The second thing you need to think about is how often you need to remind yourself of that goal today. Reminding yourself every hour may be needed if your addiction is really hardcore. If your addiction starts when you leave work or school, you may want an alternative strategy of repeating your goal, say, maybe 3 times in the last hour before you leave work or school, instead of, or even in addition to doing it every hour. The point is to know and say and plan what you want to do before the key moment of your addiction triggers occur. I'll repeat that. We want to be able to say, plan, and know what we want to do before the key moment of when your addiction triggers occur. Now, not everyone will always succeed, but you have to succeed at planning your recovery. Your life will be better when you succeed at setting goals and reminding yourself of exactly what your goals are. And even if you fail again with your addiction, it is better if you can look back at your plan and at least be able to say, well, I had a plan that could have worked, but I lacked the discipline to do it. Here's the bottom line. Some of you will set goals and repeat your goals every hour or every few hours and have success. Some will try this and not have success. But every addict who has learned to set goals and who develops the habit of repeating goals has taken a step towards success. Let's talk about consequences. Every person also who develops the habit of consistently reviewing the consequences of their actions is also taking a step towards success. The biggest problem with addiction for some people is we know the consequences, but we just don't care. We want the pleasure or fun or thrill or escape that a certain activity gives. So the million-dollar question is, how do we become a person who cares more about the really important things in life so that we can more effectively fight addiction? One of the answers is to find our purpose. Each one of us was raised differently. Some are raised with money as a priority, or maybe education was stressed. Others are influenced to put parties and pleasure first. But now, it is important to focus on better, healthier priorities. There are many priorities that help you begin to have a clean lifestyle. New priorities can also help us begin to find our purpose in life. So what are some of the ways we can go about finding our purpose? First of all, we need to distinguish between purposes that are real and others that are a bit more superficial. If you have a purpose for your life, and it involves helping other people, you are onto something. So let's break finding your purpose into 3 categories. The first way to find your purpose is to do things God's way, the Tim Tebow way, the religious solutions. The second way is to genuinely help other people on a consistent basis. The third way is to immerse yourself in some clean activity to help you escape your addiction. Here's a story of a baseball manager who immersed himself in baseball, and it really helped with his issue. The Texas Rangers manager Ron Washington has used baseball to find a purpose for his life. He was busted for cocaine use, but when he realized that the drug was ruining his life, he immersed himself in baseball and later led his team to the World Series. By finding a purpose for his life, he has inspired other people to try to get off of drugs. Another player on his team is Josh Hamilton. Josh has had severe addictions in the past, but now he has also dedicated his life to Christianity as well as dedicating it to baseball. Now he's been clean for years. Now you may say, I don't play baseball. I can't do what they're doing. But there is a lot you can do. People who directly find a purpose can often beat an addiction. When I watch some of these rehab shows on TV, some of the people who run the sober living houses are former addicts. Now they dedicate their lives to helping others. There's a shocking story I heard on TV. A somewhat famous Hollywood girl contracted AIDS. Because of this, she then dedicated her life to helping people who had AIDS. Now this is great stuff, but that's not the shocking part. She then commented that AIDS was the best thing that had ever happened to her because she now has a purpose for her life. Now keep in mind that this was 12 or 13 years ago when AIDS was a rather short death sentence. But despite the death sentence, she had more joy and satisfaction in her life than she had ever had during her years of indulgence. So let's review how to use discipline to help you find your purpose and overcome addictions. The first key to discipline is to, number one, always set goals. Number two, always be a fanatic about repeating your goals consistently. Number three, always know and say and plan what you want to do or what you should do before the key moment of when your addiction triggers occur. And number four, always take time to focus on better, healthier priorities. This has been part one with finding your purpose through discipline to help with overcoming addictions. If you have time to go to part two, this continues at that time. Thank you for watching.